All right, guys. So just like I do in most videos where I talk about the virus, I have to give a disclaimer here. I'm not making any claims about the virus. I'm not saying anything outside of the scientific consensus on the virus, and everybody should follow the directions of local state health authorities, the CDC, and I am making no claims, okay? This is simply a public policy discussion. All right, guys. So Texas kind of shocked the country last week when Governor Greg Abbott announced that he was lifting all restrictions in the state and that is opening up 100%, okay, including the mask mandate. Now, this reopening by Texas, unsurprisingly, garnered a very negative response from the Democrats, right, in the liberal media. The liberal media called Texas reckless, right? Reckless. They don't care about life. They're killing their own citizens. Yada, yada, yada. All the things that we've heard regarding any states that don't want to enforce very strict lockdowns on their citizens. Now, the President of the United States, Mr. Sleepy Joe Biden, referred to Texas reopening as Neanderthal thinking, okay? And a lot of conservatives got upset with that, right? A lot of conservatives got upset with it, and rightfully so, because Biden basically compared conservative states that don't want to lock down, that are opening up, to Neanderthals, okay? Basically saying that it's dated, it's backward, it's not smart. That's basically what Biden is saying. But it's funny because after Texas reopened, some other states, right, such as Mississippi, had followed suit and decided they're going to open back up. And then lo and behold, you start to see other states follow, like more liberal states like Connecticut, right? Some states like Missouri, right, start to ease restrictions and open back up. While at the same time, you have some states like South Dakota that's basically been open the whole time. You know, you got Kristi Noem saying, guys, I've been on this train for a minute. Y'all late to the party, right? So it's just funny, right? And when you actually look at the data and the numbers, you can see that Mr. Joe Biden might want to refer to the whole union as Neanderthal thinking, if that's the standard, because there are a lot of states that are opening back up. But before we get in that, my name is Greg Foreman, and you're watching A Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share A Black Conservative Perspective, aka a leftist worst nightmare. You can also follow me on Twitter at gforemanbcp. Let's get it. All right, guys. So let's take a look at some news in which California is okaying reopening ballparks and Disneyland. California, open up Disneyland. Now, California has cleared a path for fans to hit the stands at opening day baseball games and return to Disneyland nearly a year after coronavirus restrictions shuttered major entertainment spots. The state on Friday relaxed guidelines for reopening outdoor venues as a fall and winter surge seem to be ending, with COVID-19 infection rates, hospitalizations, and deaths plummeting and vaccine rates rising. New public health rules would allow live concerts at stadiums and sports arenas to reopen with limited attendance April 1st. Amusement parks also will be permitted to reopen in counties that have fallen from the state's purple tier, the most restricted, to the red tier. In all cases, park capabilities will be limited, and COVID-19 safety rules such as mask wearing requirements will apply. The move followed a week of milestones with California ramping up vaccinations for the poorest neighborhoods, counties reopening more businesses, and Governor Gavin Newsom passing a measure aimed at encouraging schools that have restricted students to online learning to reopen classrooms this month. It also comes after Gavin Newsom is close to basically getting recalled for keeping the state on lockdown. So as you can see, these states are starting to reopen. So Texas and Mississippi are not just the only states with Neanderthal thinking. Apparently, California has Neanderthal thinking. And when you actually look at the data here, right, according to USA Today, guys, this is a map of all the new cases in the US, okay, in the state restrictions. So if we look at the actual trends, as you can see, guys, most of the trends are moving downwards in terms of cases, right? In most states, new cases are shrinking, okay? And vaccine rates are going up, right? And then when you actually look at state restrictions, if you look at the blue here, most of the restrictions are also easing as well across the country. So this whole blue right here apparently are Neanderthals along with the green, which includes Washington, D.C., Florida, Missouri, Iowa, right? The whole union seems to be participating in Neanderthal thinking, according to Joe Biden. Now, all this is to say, guys, is that the unfortunate reality is that there was a poll that came out that said that Mr. Joe Biden had a 70% approval rating in terms of how he has handled this virus. And, you know, it's really a shame to see how Joe Biden is really getting a layup from the Trump administration. Okay, because I'm one of those type of guys where I don't really judge presidents based off the numbers in their first year on anything. Okay, it really starts the second, maybe even the third year in which you can really start to judge a president, right, based off the numbers and data from that actual year. Because, guys, Biden right now is 100% benefiting from everything that Trump did in 2020 in regards to this virus. And it is a damn shame to see Biden taking 100% credit for something that he really had nothing to do with whatsoever. Okay? These states opening back up, like Texas, right? You know, I'm glad that they open back up. But at the same time, part of me feels like Trump's really not going to get credit for how his administration had handled this stuff. Because, again, how long had they been talking about things being locked down, right? They've been talking about things being locked down to like 2022, right? And we're already seeing states open back up in the first quarter of 2021, right? After they said that Trump mishandled this once-in-a-lifetime virus so bad. So think about this. The narrative is that the previous administration handled this so bad that Joe Biden had to come in and clean everything up. Biden is not even 2 months into his administration, and you have states already opening back up. All the states are easing restrictions, basically, most of them. You have vaccine rates going up. Again, most of the vaccines, right? All that development, all that funding came under Trump. And Biden's getting credit for it. While at the same time, he's talking out of both sides of his mouth, talking about how they had no vaccine distribution plan. Right? And in some cases, even saying they didn't even have vaccines under the Trump administration. But as you can see, 2 months after the Trump presidency, countries opening back up. Infections are going down. Cases are going down. Vaccine rates are going up. But see, the media is not going to cover this. They're not going to give credit where credit is due. And I can't necessarily just blame the media for this. Because quite honestly, as conservatives, we've done a terrible job in terms of our own PR strategy and marketing when it comes to this virus. Because some people have been, you know, so skeptical about this whole ordeal. I think people have forgotten about how this plays into politics. I said that the best part of Trump's speech at CPAC was him taking credit for the vaccines for a reason. It's because the narrative that the media put the last years that Trump has mishandled this virus, which honestly is probably part of the reason why Trump lost. It's probably part of the reason why Trump didn't get reelected. And so Trump changing that narrative and Trump taking credit for the vaccine, Trump embracing what his administration has done is a good thing, because anybody with 2 brain cells should understand that most of what is happening right now in this country in regards to the virus and the vaccine happened because of Trump. It happened because of things that the Trump administration done. Biden has literally not had time to make any major changes. He hasn't had time. So really the narrative should be that Trump basically handled the pandemic the best way anybody can, and he didn't shut down the whole country. right? He didn't force shutdowns across the country. He actually made the right decision, allowing states to handle it for themselves. But that's not the narrative. And part of the reason why that's not the narrative is because conservatives have missed the layup on this narrative. Instead, we've decided to run away from it, to pretend like it doesn't exist, to act like it's not a big deal when optics matter, right? When at the end of the day, the vaccine is the key to people going back to normal. It's the key. And as you can see, as the rates are starting to go up, as cases are starting to go down, restrictions are being lifted. And I just think that we need to do a better job of having Trump take credit for it. Saying that no, leadership for the virus, the way we got here was done under the Trump administration. The Trump administration is responsible for this. But that requires that, we have to acknowledge that the virus was serious and to say, you know what, Trump took it serious and he handled a serious problem. Because that's going to win over people that are moderate and that have taken the virus seriously. And I feel like as conservatives, we're not even giving Trump enough credit for what he did on this. Just because of how people feel about the virus. And it's really a shame. Because if you look at the numbers right now, it'd be really hard to believe what we're saying considering what the liberal media told us about Trump's handling of the virus. But hey, you can't blame them because they just got a free pass to do it. We didn't push back on that narrative. So, like I said, I just look at this stuff and the states reopening, and I just wish that Trump had got more credit for it because he actually really did do a good job on this virus. And I think that him not getting the credit he deserves is really a damn shame. It really puts a black eye on his legacy, in my opinion, when I think that that liberals and conservatives are not appreciating it enough, in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.